News!
But she's looking to get big fights. I mean, she hasn't gotten the big fight, not because of her. People haven't wanted to fight Alicia, and she wants Serrano and Katie Taylor. But I'm sure the Caroline Dubois fight will happen at some point in time. But personally, from a financial perspective and a business perspective, you want to build that fight up a little bit more because it'll be worth more down the road. It's not that she's worried about beating her, or it's not that she won't beat her, it's that it has to make financial sense, and that will be a big fight at some time. I just think that's probably 1.5 years to 2 years away before it's really, really big.
1.5 years at the minimum to 2 years, the most generous guesstimates from manager Keith Connolly, who handles the career of Alicia Baumgardner, in a soundbite that is unacceptable. To that, Caroline Dubois reacted by saying, LOL, in 1.5 years to 2 years, I will be at 147 and won't be coming back down.
Will Alicia be moving up then?
Michaela Mayer already has. Terry Harper already has. What is Alicia still doing at 130 pounds? There's nobody there.
Angling for a Katie Taylor fight? Angling for an Amanda Serrano fight? Neither of which the boxing world at large expects to happen. So what is she actually doing?
Ducking, according to Twitter user Stephen Milhausen, who said, when it smells like a duck, it's a duck. And this will be the common sentiment expressed by the boxing fan whenever the subject is broached. That's irrespective of what I think. What I see other people say, and what they think is they think it's a duck. What you have to ask yourself is, in the 1.5 to 2 years that you're quote-unquote trying to build the Dubois fight, who are you going to be fighting, and how much money do you expect promoters to kick out for smaller fights that don't move the needle and that people aren't interested in?
How much of other people's money and other people's time do you think you can waste?
In my previous video, I said it, and I'll say it here again. Women's boxing is not in a place to where they can afford to start acting like the men, like pretty little princesses and prima donnas putting important fights on the back burner. If you can identify a fight that the fight fans are actually clamoring for, then that's the one you make, as soon as possible, before they lose interest and before it dies on the vine. If Carolyn moves on.
Well, there goes the neighborhood.
This has happened before. Many, many years ago, before the big-time promoters and big networks actually took an interest in women's boxing, there was a proposed fight between Lucia Riker and Holly Holm. That never happened. Layla Ali
and Ann Wolfe. That never happened.
Important fights between the somebodies not happening leaves a black eye on the sport that leaves people disinterested and looking to go elsewhere. After all the progress women's boxing has made in recent years, they can't afford to start moving backwards.
Because Katie Taylor is about to retire. Amanda Serrano is about to retire. Two of the biggest names in the sport that draw the most eyes to it are close to leaving. Who's going to fill the void?
Somebody has to for things to stay on the up and up. Somebody has to be willing to fight in those fights, those dangerous fights, those legacy fights, to keep the audience on board. Otherwise, all the progress is lost.
Leave it to the managers and the fighters themselves, who I've long maintained have too much wiggle room to waste everybody's time and waste everybody's money. They'll leave a fight on the back burner hoping that it grows.
And what sometimes happens is, it doesn't happen. Nothing happens.
God forbid somebody else comes along and actually beats Caroline Dubois. Well, there goes your big payday, what could have been your super fight. Don't rejoice.
Because that's not a good thing. It's actually a blessing in disguise in a combat sport to have an arch nemesis, an arch rival, that draws the audience in, a storyline that's compelling.
Wasn't hers Michaela Mayer, and didn't she beat her?
She did, but that was 3 years ago. How long are you gonna ride that scooter? This is unacceptable. And in the 1.5 and 2 years that you want to wait for this fight to quote-unquote get bigger, well, I suppose you plan on fighting other people.
But fighting other people, somebody has to pay for those opponents that people aren't interested in. Somebody has to pay to put those shows together that don't move the needle,
don't deliver metrics to the broadcast partner, and don't do much for the sport of boxing. It is unacceptable to wait that long to do this fight. In my humble opinion, after the Baumgardner Shin fight, provided that Alicia wins it, she needs to move up post-haste.
ASAP.
Move up to the lightweight division and target the winner of the upcoming Stephanie Hahn versus Holly Holm rematch for whoever ends up with the WBA title.
Become a champion at 135. That's what she needs to do. If you're really trying to build the Dubois fight, then that's what you'll do. So by the time you meet her, it'll be a unification match, or maybe for undisputed. Carolyn says that she's targeting Elif Nur Turan for her next fight.
And that fight between those two would be for 3 of the 4 major titles at the weight, leaving only the WBA title that Alicia should pick up from either Stephanie Hahn or Holly Holm.
Two-time undisputed. If you're really trying to build the Dubois fight, then that's what you'll do. If that's what you don't do, it just seems like you're waiting for her to move on. Waiting for her to leave, waiting until the coast is clear, so that you can then move up to fight weaker opposition.
For those same belts, I've been a fan of this fighter for a very long time, but make no mistake, I ain't nobody's publicist. Nobody's paying me to run spin on the internet for them. I have to call a spade, and if this fight doesn't happen in a timely fashion, that's what people are gonna say.
You were waiting for her to leave.
Was supposed to replace the super fight that you let die on the vine, because by then Katie Taylor will be retired, so will Amanda, Carolyn will have moved up. What's the super fight then?
Unacceptable. This is unacceptable from Keith Connolly, who, along with handling the careers of Richardson Hitchens and Edgar Berlanga and Conor Benn and Teofimo Lopez, apparently he also manages Alicia Baumgardner.
And this is unacceptable. If you wait that long to make this fight, you will fast make yourself a social pariah, and whatever support you have now will dwindle in the 1.5 to 2 years you're waiting for this fight to be bigger.
Yeah, let's wait till I'm in my mid-30s to fight a fighter many years younger than I am. That's a smart idea.
I take it that she got that one from Keith.
In men's heavyweight news, don't blame Anthony Joshua for not participating in Tyson Fury's theatrics. Tyson Fury wanted to make a big show out of challenging Anthony Joshua to a fight yesterday at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, following Fury's predictable comeback win over Makhmudov. Joshua didn't really oblige when asked
When commanded by Fury and Turkey El Sheikh to come into the ring for Fury's challenge, Joshua promoter Eddie Hearn instead stayed ringside. Hearn stood, Joshua sat, despite attempts by Fury to goad Joshua in with insults. Big shit house and the usual fare. Joshua stayed relaxed. He did get a microphone, though.
AJ, Anthony Joshua. Let's give the fight fans what they want. The Battle of Britain. And here's my challenge. I challenge you, Anthony Joshua, to fight me, the Gypsy King, next. Do you accept my challenge? We've heard it now. Tyson, you've called out that man right there, your long-time rival, Anthony Joshua. His Excellency Turki El-Sheikh has called it on. This is the surprise. Are we going to see this fight?
It is not my call. It is his call.
Let him say yes or no. Let him say yes or no now. Anthony, he's a serious stare there as he stares down a potential opponent. Can we see you in the ring? Can we have you here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium? Can we get this fight done today? Come on, you big shithouse. Are you going to fight tonight?
Tyson, you're a clout chaser.
Here. I can't hear you. Give him this mic.
Tyson, I've never had no problem getting in the ring with you. I punched you up when we were kids. And after watching you here tonight, I'll punch you up again. With all due respect, tonight is your night. And you know I'll sit across that ring from you in due time. You ain't gonna tell me what to do. I've been chasing you for the last 10 years. When you're ready, you come and see me and tell me your terms and conditions, and I'll have you in the ring when I'm ready. I'm the boss.
I'm the boss.
You work for me. I'm the landlord. Remember that. I'm the landlord. You work for me.
Ready, Jordy? The ball's in your ball. Cheers, Dal. Listen. Let's give the fight fans what they want. Do not run from me this time. 10 years in the making. Let's fucking dance.
In his post-fight press conference, we got another predictable Tyson Fury outing, as anyone neutral on the issue might have suspected. He leaned harder into what was pretty clearly an attempt to bully the discussion and urge the people to look favorably upon his side of the story. The idea is for fans to blame Anthony Joshua for not going into the ring and enthusiastically participating in a WWE-style bit of theatrics. It makes Joshua look weak and afraid, at least on the surface, and it makes Fury look strong, daring, and bold.
Was Joshua considering getting in the ring at all?
He's not into it if the fight's not done. Do you know what I mean? Because they said, "Oh, do you want to get in the ring?" He's like, "Until we sign up." Like, how many times have we been here before? How many times have we talked about the fight? How many times is years and years, and it's never happened. So I think he's like, "Look, it's your night. I'm here. Of course, if we can get the fight done, we're extremely confident, and we'll deal with you when it happens. But until I see you across the ring, it's all hype.
AJ called him the landlord in there. Is he just sick of the years of back and forth at this point?
Because he wants to call the shots, Fury. He always has done. And that's why the fight never happened. So AJ's just saying, look, you need me, you're calling me, and you'll get me. Yeah, the fight, very confident the fight will happen. But at the moment, nothing signed.
Fury said AJ's terrified. Obviously, you don't agree, but yeah, what do you make of that?
Terrified of what? That tonight? Yeah. You think you'd be terrified of that? Come on. Even Fury fans, as I was walking out tonight, not the same energy. They know.
Fury's big idea is to challenge Joshua, and if he doesn't accept right away, he looks like a coward. In front of 60,000 in the stadium and however many millions were watching on Netflix, people will buy this because it will make sense to them. A guy got challenged to a fight and he didn't accept. He's a coward. Boxing, though, is not a schoolyard scrap, and Fury isn't asking his class nemesis to meet him at the swings after school to settle a dispute over line cutting or lunch money. The promoters and organizers of boxing have explained away criticisms for many years, with the reminder, always, that boxing is a business. Ahead of being a sport even, it's a business. Fans and media are meant to remember that when something that seems like it should happen doesn't.
So it doesn't stop being a business when Tyson Fury's playing to the crowd.
Tyson Fury fights are big business, so are Anthony Joshua fights. Tyson Fury versus Anthony Joshua is very big business indeed. If real negotiation has not taken place, and according to Eddie Hearn it hasn't, a real deal is not in place, why on earth should Anthony Joshua be expected to leap into the ring for some phony face-off?
Let me remind you that Fury's not next and he wasn't gonna be.
Now, from the Fury perspective, there was nothing to lose. If Joshua declines participation, you can say he's a coward. If he does it, and then an actual deal doesn't come together, you can still say he's a coward who backed out of what he agreed to do. If the terms were absurd, and Joshua and company didn't accept, who would ever know? It's your word against theirs.
At the end, you talking to Anthony Joshua. Yeah. We couldn't hear it. What was said? I'm going to ask you. You were saying it. What was said?
The fight's been brewing 10 years plus. Yeah. He's ringside. He's come for the show, and I've called him out. I said, "Do you accept?" He wouldn't accept. Turkey said, "Do you want to fight him or not?" He just said, "Stum." He didn't say. Listen, maybe he's got a lot too much going on. I'm not sure, but if he's come ringside,
and you've been supportive of that.
Yeah, I very have been. I've not said anything about him. I've left his name out of my mouth.
I know you have.
My cover, and obviously he's come ringside for a reason, and he wouldn't accept. So what can I say? I tried to give the fans what they wanted. I said, "Do you accept the fight? Yes or no?" And he's like, he wouldn't say yes or no. So listen, it's the ball's in his court. If he wants to fight, let's get it on in August or September. If he doesn't, we move on to somebody else. There's a saying in the trade, you can take the horse to the water, but you can't make it drink it. I'm ready. I've just had a 12-round fight, 16 months out the ring. He's back. Can't wait.
Fury sat next to promoter Frank Warren, who would occasionally quietly chime into things with Tyson Fury, should mention, is saying that he has a signed contract to fight Joshua, and that he's had it signed for some time.
Yeah, I don't even believe that, because that would have required Anthony Joshua to go into negotiations with Tyson Fury following the car accident? Yeah, right.
When he wondered aloud if Joshua had signed the contract, Warren piped up and said he has not. What contract has Fury supposedly signed, if it exists at all? It's not clear, but you can draw up a contract that says basically anything and have Fury sign it. It doesn't mean it's a deal Anthony Joshua and Eddie Hearn would accept, and it doesn't mean that they're wrong if the terms are not to their liking. Don't take the bait. Don't rush to blame Anthony Joshua or Eddie Hearn for not creating a fake moment with Tyson Fury yesterday. As usual, Tyson has said a lot of things that make for great, reaction-driven YouTube and social media quasi-headlines. AJ wants no smoke and whatnot. But if you look at this from a less internet-ready perspective, it's very simple. Fury says he wants the fight. Joshua says he'll do the fight. It is the fight to make for both. Sit down at the table and hammer out a deal. If it doesn't get done, both sides will blame the other. The numbers weren't right, or the other side was never really interested, and one or both will not have wanted the smoke. Maybe it really will be that Joshua didn't want it. Maybe. Despite the bluster, Fury will truly be the one to blame. Again, who will ever really know? One side's word is against the other, but none of it will have anything to do with what did or didn't happen this weekend.
That is the official word from pundit Scott Christ, who wrote the article, and I happen to agree with him. The fight, happening or not happening, was not contingent upon anything that happened this weekend.
Or didn't happen, whether or not it would, didn't teeter in the balance of Anthony Joshua right then and there accepting a mock challenge for a fight that isn't made yet. And this next part is going to require a few more brain cells than your average boxing fan is willing to use. But for you out there to believe that somewhere out there's a signed contract
that Tyson Fury signed to fight AJ.
You would then have to believe that both teams already sat down and ironed out a deal, then drew up the contracts, which I don't believe, because AJ's coming off a horrific car accident. When would these negotiations have taken place?
They didn't.
Before we got to this point, Anthony Joshua takes the Jake Paul fight on short notice, then charts a course to an early ring return at the beginning of this year. But the car accident happened, and his two friends died. Am I supposed to believe that while he was mourning them, he was also negotiating a fight with Fury?
No fucking way.
Because up until recently, we didn't even know if he was going to keep fighting. Everybody thought he might retire following the accident, including Tyson Fury. So when would these negotiations between the two teams have taken place that there are now contracts already drawn up?
They're not.
After the fight, Netflix, via their official social media account, said that the fight was done.
You're thinking to yourself, why would they have said that if it's not?
Because of Turkey. Because of Turkey LL Sheik and his partiality. What you saw yesterday was a combination of Tyson Fury's theatrics and Turkey's partiality. Because we all know he's more partial to Fury.
He likes Fury more than he likes AJ.
He likes the specter, the big spectacle, the showmanship, the big claims, the WWE-style callouts when, if the fight is made and contracts are already drawn up, why are you issuing out challenges?
Netflix said that the fight was done.
Where'd they get that idea? Tyson Fury just challenged Anthony Joshua, who was ringside. At some point, you gotta use your common sense.
I had to sit down and think about this.
Because a part of me wanted AJ to enter into the ring and do the face-off to rile everybody up for the fight. But the reality is, Fury's not next, and that fight ain't done.
AJ's fighting somebody else next, and I think that he wants to focus on that and not look past that opponent, whoever it ends up being. He doesn't want to play Tyson Fury's game and shoot himself in the foot.
Common sense would dictate that if Tyson Fury is back, it's not to fight just any old buddy. It is to fight Anthony Joshua, and Anthony Joshua was there ringside.
Because it is about fighting Tyson Fury. He was scouting him. So they do want to fight each other, but it's not exactly the way that Fury or Turkey would have you believe.
I don't think AJ would have flown in from Dubai, where he lives now, back into the UK, made the drive out to see the Richard Riakporhe fight, or to see Conor Benn stink out the joint with Regis Prograis. He was there for Fury. We all know it.
But the fight is not contingent upon Anthony Joshua doing what Fury tells him to do. That's what that act of defiance was.
I know what you're doing, even if the audience doesn't. And I don't march to the beat of your drum, you march to mine, because you need me. I ain't the one who's got to retire and unretire and retire to feel comfortable. That's your bag.
I'm here, I've been here, and if you want me, we're gonna do things my way. 'Cause I'm the landlord.
That's what I think that was.